Okay, so in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to review code and then potentially resolve code conflicts. So in this particular repository, there are several branches. These branches are here. Now we have a couple of branches that have code to be reviewed. So I'm now going to do one of those pull requests and then show you the result. So I'm going to start with this branch up here. So the way I would do this is you can either click on the branch and create a pull request here. So at the top you have the source branch. This is the code that's coming in, and this is the destination, which is the master branch. This shows you the difference between the two branches in terms of the code that has been done that is different to master. And this here shows you the difference between those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the pull request. So you click this button, create pull request. Normally do a description. I normally put in up here a description of the destination. So in this situation, I'm pulling the content into master. So I will say merge into master, and I will then create. Now, in this instance, there are differences between the source branch, which is the UX Yarn, and the master branch, so it can't happen automatically. When it can happen automatically, you can just click merge here. In this situation, you can't. So what you can do is you can find out the cause. So if you go diff, there is a little warning symbol on any lines that have any code that has a problem. And it will show you. So what you've got here is this is showing you the code conflict. So you've got three elements here. You've got at the top, this is your destination branch. So in this instance, it's master, and then you've got a divider. So the divider shows you the difference between that shows you both the end of this segment here, as well as the start of this segment here. So what it's telling you right now is in the Yarn branch, this code exists, but in master, this exists, and they're on different lines. So that's the problem. So, and the thing is repeated here. This exists in master, and then this exists in Yarn, and so on and so forth. So the way you have to resolve that is you have to do it in Android Studio. So this dialog box here, when you click more information, gives you the detail. So what I'm going to do is excuse me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into Android Studio and resolve the code conflict. So let's go there now. Okay, so I'm currently in the master branch. That's where I should be, but just for the purpose of the exercise, we'll do we'll check out the master branch, which is git checkout master. Now I'm already on the master and it's already up to date. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from origin, which is the repository, the changes in the other branch. I'm going to do git pull origin UX Yarn. Okay, so it's going to do auto merging of some things, and others will fail. So now this here shows you the conflicts. So what you've got to do now is you click here, and every file that has a conflict that you need to change will turn red, and they're up here. So if I open these up and I go Java, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files to remediate. So let's do the straightforward ones first. So what you have to do when you're doing review of code merge is you have to determine whether some of the content should not stay or whether it's all just an append and you can add it all. So as an example, in this colors file, this particular commit here, which is Yarn's commit, has just added a couple more colors. So that's fine to integrate with the code in master. So what we'll do is to fix this, you delete the head up here. You also delete this at the bottom, which is Yarn's code, and you delete the divider. That's done. That code has now been merged and remediated. Now that's done, you've got to, because this is red, it's not currently in the repository, it's been taken out. So you have to right click and click Git and then Add. And it will turn to it turned to blue, sorry, and blue indicates that it's a modified file. Up here, these are all brand new files, so they're green. So just to reiterate, red is currently not in the repository, blue is a modified file, green is a brand new file, and down here, a gold file has been deliberately ignored. So that shouldn't be pushed into BitBucket, and it'll basically be ignored from any changes you make. Okay, so that's done. Let's go to the strings file, and let's do the same thing here. So this is, again, just an append, so that's fine. So we do the same process. We'll delete that, and then we'll remove this as well. That code's also now fine. We've resolved those issues. Again, we'll do git add. Let's go down to the build.grader file. Okay, so this is a little bit more complex because this apply plugin code actually does need to remain below this end bracket. So, but this implementation file exists up here. So the way I would remediate this is I would cut this because everything here is Yawen's code. So I would cut this. I would put this up here, and everything else I would remove. So you would remove this, you would remove this, you would remove that, and you don't need this end bracket, so you would close that too, and that's what you'd be left with. And you would again do git add. Okay, so dealing with when there's content you have to actually remove. So if we go to Android Manifest, you have here a red line because in Yawen's code, you have the main activity, the sign up screen, and the patient detail and profile, which are two new screens she's created. But here in the head, which is in the master, you've already got the main activity in the sign up screen. So how do you resolve this? You would delete again the head and the end, and then you would just remove these two because they're duplicated. That's now done as well, and we'll do again git add. And the last file we've got is the login screen. Okay, so up the top we've got the head. So there's a difference between the master and Yawen's branch here. So let's just go, okay, this is the master. Let's go all the way down to the divider. So there's the divider, and this is Yawen's code here. So we can see here we've got login screen extends app activity, and here as well. And you don't need that twice. So the other thing is you've got private button, login button, and then you've got this here too. So the way you would go about resolving this is remove this line of code altogether, these lines. You would remove this element, which is the declaration of a button up here. You would remove this divider, and then you've got your on create. So you don't need this head anymore, that can be taken out. Then you've got your on create down here. So what you do is you take this out, and you take this out too. Now at the bottom, these belong, where does that brace in? So you've got that, and then this is an on click. Sometimes with this you need to find where the bracket ends and starts. So if I click that and I scroll up, I can see where that ends. So that's the start of the file altogether. And that's why this error is coming up, because it shouldn't belong there. So for the purpose of this, we're just going to remove this code because this has no functionality right now. And we'll put that on the onCreate. And that's done. So with that all resolved, now what we're going to do is we're going to add that file to git add, and then that's a changed file. So we've got strings, colors, login screen, manifest, 4 files that had issues and are now resolved. So I'm now going to sync the project, make sure that's all okay. I'm now going to just run the project to make sure the code still works and it doesn't have a crash. So we'll just wait for a minute. It's currently building. Let's have a look. So build was successful, which is good. If there's a core problem, you'll get build failed, obviously. And the application opens. So that's all fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to push the code. So you do VCS commit, and it will give you an automatic commit message. So this will show you all the changes that are being pushed up into master, because the branch that's checked out is master, but I am pulling the changes from Yawen's branch and merging them in. So it shows you in the commit message, merge branch UX Yawen, which is going into master down here. These are the conflicts. I'm happy with that commit message, so you would then do commit and push. So there are 6 warnings, so we'll review them. They're likely just style issues. That's fine. So this is just a style issue. And same here, they're all fine. So now that I've validated they're not severe issues and I can proceed without it, I'll do commit again, commit and push. If you ever see where it says you have an error, you need to review that. If you have an error, your code will not run. So we'll do commit and push. And then this pushes all of the updates that was made in that branch into master. So I click push now. Now when I go back to BitBucket and I refresh, you can see I've remotely completed the merge. So that's done. And that is a tutorial on how to create a pull request in BitBucket and merge conflicting code.